Pooh Shiesty just touched back down after serving time in federal prison, and his return immediately sent shockwaves through Memphis. This wasn't a quiet re-entry, and it definitely didn't go unnoticed. His comeback quickly became one of the most talked about moments in Memphis rap in early 2025, with fans and insiders instantly taking sides. One particular lyric stood out, a line so bold and controversial that it sparked non-stop debate across the city. That single bar left at least one well-respected Memphis rapper feeling openly disrespected. But the real story here goes far beyond music. Behind the scenes, there are ongoing conversations involving personal image rumors, complicated prison dynamics, and loyalty being tested under pressure. The situation has become emotional, tense, and serious enough that many believe it could affect the balance of Memphis's rap scene. Today, we're breaking down what's actually happening, separating confirmed details from online speculation, in a story that's kept the hip-hop world paying close attention. Ever since Pooh Shiesty dropped that lyrical jab shortly after stepping back into the spotlight in early 2025, social media has been buzzing non-stop. Timelines filled up fast, and different narratives started spreading everywhere. Online chatter quickly pushed the idea that Pooh Shiesty returned home specifically to target Finesse 2 times. But it's important to slow things down here, because not everything circulating online is accurate. Our goal is to sort out what's credible, what's exaggerated, and what appears to be pure speculation. Early 2025 marked a major moment. Pooh Shiesty, newly released and expected to enjoy his freedom, dropped First Day Out and included a lyric that immediately divided Memphis. This wasn't received as friendly competition. Many saw it as touching on real-life issues, long-standing alliances, and sensitive allegations that, if mishandled, could damage reputations and careers. This is where the situation starts to feel heavier, not just louder. So here's what happened. In First Day Out, Pooh Shiesty delivered a line that made listeners pause. "I heard street dudes getting tummy tucks. Told you these rappers lame." Within Memphis street rap culture, comments like that aren't taken lightly. Questioning cosmetic choices can be interpreted as questioning someone's authenticity, toughness, and public image all at once. Almost immediately, the song gained massive attention online, with millions of views and non-stop discussion across platforms. Bloggers and commentators began analyzing exactly who that line could have been aimed at. Many felt it wasn't accidental, but intentional and carefully worded to provoke conversation. Finesse 2 times initially handled the moment calmly. In interviews, he said he wasn't sure who the line was about and even laughed it off, explaining that the internet would run with its own interpretation regardless. He suggested the lyric wasn't directed at him and chose not to escalate the situation. That response showed maturity and restraint, especially in a city where reactions can easily turn heated.
Hey, bro, you want to talk about me? Nigga talking about bad. What you talking about? I ain't got no tummy tuck. My shit flapping.
Finesse, he was saying something like these rappers getting, what'd he say, bodies.
Something about a tummy tuck. Yeah, he most definitely. I think he most definitely threw a shot. They saying that he probably be talking about bag. Nah, you ain't talking about bag. A bag sharing in music.
However, Memphis dynamics operate differently than many outsiders realize. When someone has been incarcerated, especially in federal prison, their understanding of current events often comes through second-hand information, phone calls, letters, and brief visits. Those details can be incomplete or outdated. By the time someone returns home, their perspective may already be shaped by stories that were never fully resolved. That context matters when analyzing how lyrics and intentions might be interpreted. Still, this issue didn't stop at music. Things became more complicated when members of Finesse 2 times' own circle weighed in publicly. His brother gave an interview suggesting that the lyric was, in fact, aimed directly at Finesse. Once family members speak on a situation like this, it changes how the public sees it. In Memphis, family voices carry serious weight, and staying silent after that can be viewed differently than before. In this culture, comments about plastic surgery aren't just about appearance, they're often seen as questioning credibility and real-life experience. That's why the lyrics sparked such strong reactions. But here's where the narrative takes a turn. Finesse later suggested that the bar may not have been about him at all, and instead could have been referencing Moneybagg Yo. To understand why that theory exists, you have to look at the long-running tension between Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo, which has quietly shaped conversations for years. Big 30 and Moneybagg Yo were once closely connected. Big 30 was signed under Bread Gang through CMG, collaborating on music and helping push Memphis forward as a unit. That relationship reportedly began to shift after a tragic loss in January 2022. According to Big 30's side, his cousin Nuski played an active role in handling pressure and navigating difficult street situations surrounding the camp. Nuski was widely respected in his area and deeply connected to Big 30. On January 28, 2022, after leaving a local performance, Nuski was later found fatally shot in the Whitehaven area. His passing deeply affected those close to him. Following Nuski's death, Moneybagg Yo posted broken heart emojis online. While some saw that as sympathy, Big 30 reportedly felt it lacked sincerity, especially after Moneybagg did not attend the funeral. In street culture, presence often speaks louder than online messages, and that absence reportedly caused lasting damage to their relationship. From Big 30's perspective, loyalty had been shown during difficult moments, but not returned when it mattered most. That disappointment eventually surfaced in music. On his song How Could You, Big 30 addressed cosmetic rumors directly, emphasizing that he works on himself naturally rather than relying on procedures. The line was widely interpreted as a response to circulating talk rather than a confirmed accusation. Moneybagg Yo responded musically with Airball, disputing Big 30's version of events and claiming he had done more behind the scenes than people realized. The situation escalated further when Moneybagg publicly requested the return of the Bread Gang chain, a symbolic move signaling separation from the brand. Now here's where things don't fully line up. If Pooh Shiesty's lyric was meant for Moneybagg Yo, it raises questions. Moneybagg reposted the song on Instagram and tagged Pooh Shiesty, and Pooh returned the gesture publicly. That interaction doesn't suggest open conflict. Another important detail: there's a strong possibility that Pooh Shiesty wrote the lyric while still incarcerated, at a time when Big 30 and Moneybagg's tension was already active. From prison, information comes filtered through trusted voices, and when your closest people feel disrespected, loyalty often guides perspective. Pooh Shiesty and Big 30 share deep history. Long before industry success, they were connected through their circle in South Memphis. That bond didn't form through music alone. It was built on shared experiences and loyalty. In environments like that, disrespect toward one member is often taken personally by the entire group. Throughout all of this, Finesse 2 has remained relatively steady. He's publicly stated that he respects Pooh Shiesty's music and doesn't currently hold negative feelings. He acknowledged reacting emotionally in the past, but emphasized that he's moved forward. However, once family members step into the conversation, the pressure changes. At that point, it's no longer just about online opinions, it's about perception, respect, and how situations are handled publicly. At the end of the day, there are multiple possibilities. The lyric could have been aimed at Finesse, at Moneybagg, or simply spoken broadly. That's the risk with subliminal messaging. It invites interpretation and creates tension where clarity is missing. One final factor to keep in mind: Pooh Shiesty is newly released and under federal supervision. Every move matters. Every word carries weight. In that position, escalation isn't just risky, it comes with real consequences. And that's why this situation remains delicate, layered, and far from resolved. You can't just move recklessly, stirring tension and shaking things up, especially when law enforcement is closely watching your every step after coming home under supervision. Every action gets amplified. Because of that, it's very possible that line wasn't meant to start a full-blown conflict at all. It could have simply been Pooh Shiesty expressing how he feels about the culture overall, not necessarily targeting one individual. Now let's talk about the industry side for a moment. Finesse 2 Times is already well established. He's built his own label, created his own movement, and earned respect throughout the South. Pooh Shiesty, on the other hand, is in a rebuilding phase after serving time and is working to regain his momentum the right way. The reality is, neither of them truly benefits from unnecessary drama, but the streets don't always operate on business logic. And if you don't fully understand Memphis street culture, this part is important. Memphis is a tight-knit city. Everyone is connected in some way, and word spreads fast. When one person feels disrespected, it rarely stays isolated. It reaches their circle, their associates, their family, and their reputation all at once. This city has already lost too much talent to conflicts and street politics, which makes situations like this especially sensitive. That's why subliminal lines are taken so seriously there, and when cosmetic surgery gets mentioned, it strikes a nerve in street culture. In certain environments, it's viewed as stepping away from traditional codes. Scars are often seen as symbols of experience, not something to erase. When discussions turn to procedures like tummy tucks or facial work, some people start questioning authenticity and whether someone still stands on the same principles they came up with. It becomes about image, respect, and staying true to your roots. Another detail that often gets overlooked is how prison time can shift someone's perspective. When you're incarcerated for years, most information comes secondhand through calls, letters, or visits. By the time you return home, your understanding of certain conflicts may already be outdated or missing key context. That means Pooh Shiesty could have been reacting to older tensions that had already cooled down in Memphis. In street culture, loyalty usually outweighs business opportunities. Even if money is involved, if someone feels their people were disrespected, that relationship rarely survives. That's what makes this situation so complicated. It's not just about lyrics or a song, it's about real-life respect, long-standing relationships, and loyalty built over time. Social media has also changed how these moments play out. Years ago, disagreements stayed personal and local. Today, every line and every verse gets broken down online. Fans choose sides, narratives spread, and pressure builds before artists even have time to respond. That instant spotlight can turn something minor into a much bigger issue. At the end of the day, this isn't only about subliminal lyrics, it's about how these artists manage their careers while balancing the streets, public perception, and the law. Pooh Shiesty is fresh home and focused on rebuilding his momentum. The talent is there, and support remains strong, but he has to move carefully because he's still under federal supervision. Every decision matters, and one mistake could cost more than just attention. Finesse 2 Times is in a very different place. He's established, respected, and leading his own operation. But in Memphis, reputation carries serious weight. If people believe you were disrespected and didn't respond properly, it can impact how you're viewed both on the streets and in the industry. That's why situations like this are so delicate. One wrong move can damage an image. The fact that Moneybagg Yo reposted Pooh Shiesty's song adds another layer. Either the lyrics weren't aimed at him, or certain issues may have already been addressed privately. Still, the streets remember everything, and long-standing tensions, like those involving Big 30, haven't fully disappeared. Moneybagg reposting could also be interpreted as a power move, signaling that he's unbothered. This situation also impacts other Memphis artists. If you have ties to both Pooh Shiesty and Finesse 2 Times, you could feel pressure to choose sides. That's often how conflicts spread, pulling in people who weren't originally involved simply because of relationships and alliances. For Pooh Shiesty especially, being under federal supervision means every action carries serious consequences. If tensions escalate into anything physical, the legal outcome could be severe. That reality has to factor into every move he makes. So the big question becomes, where does this go from here? With loyalty, respect, and street politics all intertwined, every decision can shift the balance. Pooh Shiesty is in a challenging position. His release brought momentum, his music is performing well, and support is strong, but he also has to be strategic. One wrong step could send him back to federal custody.
Finesse 2 Times appears to be maintaining a calmer approach.
but pressure from the streets can influence how situations unfold. In hip-hop, silence is sometimes viewed as weakness, even when speaking out might not be the smartest move. Memphis hip-hop is at its best when artists collaborate rather than clash. The city has already lost too many influential figures to internal conflicts. The legacies of Young Dolph and other Memphis artists serve as reminders of how quickly situations can escalate. This situation also reflects the bigger picture for Memphis hip-hop. The city is finally receiving national recognition. Artists like Moneybagg Yo, Pooh Shiesty, Big 30, and Finesse 2 Times are bringing attention to the scene. But internal disputes can distract from the music and slow overall progress. At its core, this moment shows just how complex Memphis street dynamics really are. It's rarely just about music. It's about loyalty, respect, family ties, and navigating relationships in a city where everyone is connected. Federal supervision, industry decisions, and social media pressure all collide, creating an environment where even small actions can have major consequences. Behind the tough talk, these are real people dealing with real stakes. Pooh Shiesty is focused on rebuilding his career and supporting his family, while Finesse 2 Times is intent on protecting his reputation and expanding his movement. It's likely neither artist wanted this level of attention, but in Memphis, words carry weight. Whether those lyrics were aimed at Finesse 2 Times, Moneybagg Yo, or simply reflected broader cultural commentary, one thing is clear: in this city, words matter. Every bar gets analyzed, and every line can permanently alter relationships. Hopefully, level heads prevail, and this doesn't grow into something irreversible. Memphis has too much talent and potential to lose momentum over internal conflict. The real challenges are deeper: economic pressure, limited opportunities, and systems that make progress difficult. These artists have the influence to elevate the culture, not divide it. Now let us know your take. What do you think was really behind those bars? Was it directed at someone specific, or was it a broader message? How should this situation be handled going forward?